Hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode in our exciting new webinar series, What's Coming from 12D. My name is Lisa Stewart and I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator at 12D Solutions. These webinars are going to showcase features that will be included in upcoming versions of 12D Model and 12D Synergy to give you an idea of what to expect when the versions are released. We'll keep running these webinars regularly over the next few weeks and recording them for posting on our YouTube channels with links through our website. During this presentation, you'll be able to type your questions along the way, as shown on the screen, and we'll answer as many as possible throughout the webinar. At the end, I'll read out some of your questions to the presenter if there's time. Today's webinar, 12D Model 15 Themes, will be presented by Revell, a Regional Sales Manager for 12D NZ with a wealth of experience in civil engineering practice, land development, drainage and construction. Dylan will introduce you today to the exciting development of themes inside 12D Model. Themes are the culmination of many years of work and feedback about providing efficient user interface workflows for navigating and utilising the incredibly comprehensive suite of tools available to 12D Model users. And you might also get a sneak peek at the new look 12D model. Over to you, Dylan.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I'm very excited about being the first one giving you the What's Coming from 12D Model webinars, and today's webinar is about 12D Model 15 themes. A bit of an agenda for today's webinar. I'm going to be taking you through an introduction to 12D Model themes. This is going to be an overview or a snapshot of themes and how they work. I won't be getting into the technical details of how you set it up and all the variables to make the 12D themes run. It will purely just be an overview and an introduction. Okay, let's get started. But first off, we're going to take you through a bit of a background of the development and the timelines that enabled themes to become a reality. First off, we had the 12D customization of Toolbars. That's been around for a long time inside 12D. Then after that, we brought in the development for Workspaces, so you could actually save a screen toolbar layout. Interface inflation variables for UHD monitors, which basically allows you to inflate or reduce the size of your iconography to suit your preferences or your monitor resolution. And then we brought in custom menus, which allowed you to totally customize the content of the menus and customize those in for your workflows. Now all of this represents many years of development inside 12D Model that's gone into the background to make themes possible. So why themes? Well, some of the advantages of 12D Model. It's one of the most complete civil and surveying software solutions available. We all know that, all the users. It covers many disciplines from survey, geometrics, water modelling, all the way through to BIM. It's heavily user developed, so what the users want they generally get. And it is hugely comprehensive. There are many functions inside 12D, and we very rarely say no when somebody asks us whether 12D can do a particular function. The disadvantages of 12D Model. Well, it's hugely comprehensive. There's many different functions and many different things that you can do within the software. It covers many disciplines from survey, geometrics, water through to BIM, and new users can feel a little overwhelmed by the choices. The order of the options can sometimes feel a little bit counterintuitive, and we all know that efficiency in modelling is all about the workflows and the order that you go through things. So what did we do when we were thinking about those advantages and disadvantages in those lists? Well, we took those many years of 12D Model development, the Workspaces, the customised toolbars, the custom themes, and the inflation, and we organised a quasi-themes committee, which was basically code for everyone in the 12D Model team that had relevant experience with these different disciplines. We tried to keep it a secret, but sometimes the word gets out. We used all this team's experience with different disciplines to identify specific workflows that could be an advantage with themes. We argued just a little bit in the content, as you do when you have different people with different ideas. And we spent many more hours bringing it all into themes. And special thanks to Ellen, who tried to put in all of our crazy ideas and what we wanted to go into themes. So to give you an idea of what to expect, 12D Model 15 will be shipped with pre-installed themes. There will be 8 themes pre-installed with 12D Model 15, not counting the classic. These themes will be the standard, design and survey, the water, 12D field, CAD, BIM and TIN themes. This number was considered big enough to encompass all the disciplines or the main items within 12D model without being overwhelming. And these themes concentrate on the main disciplines of 12D model users. Shipped themes will not be editable, so you won't be able to change the shipped themes of those 8. Purely this is for 12D staff to be able to support themes. When we're doing support, we'd like to understand the order and the content of those themes and not have those change. So shipped content will be controlled by the 12D staff. And there's also a matrix of interconnected content in all of these themes, and wait for the demo, you'll see how all of that works. And we really don't want those interconnected links broken for users or usability. We want the shipped themes to be the shipped themes and everybody to be singing off the same song sheet, as it were. So what do the themes actually do? Well, they control the displayed menus on a theme. They control the size, font and content of these menus. They control the loading and saving of workspaces on selection of themes. They control the user interface sizing, so the size of your iconography. They control the content and options of your views, so what view icons are displayed and what happens when you select those. And they also allow independent iconography for menus and views, so you can have an icon that's specific for a view that doesn't have to be on a toolbar, and vice versa. So let me introduce you to the themes. First up, we have the standard theme. The standard theme is very, very similar to the classic theme in 12D that everybody's been used to with regards to menus. It looks and smells and feels just like the standard or the classic 12D, but there are some subtle differences with regards to workflows. The design theme is all about geometrics and having quick access to the workflow for geometric design, starting with reference strings and super alignments and then templates. And you guys will have plenty of time to investigate all of the content within all of these themes when version 15 is released. The survey theme is again all about workflows, and it's all about the typical workflow of a surveyor and what they need quick, easy access to and items of importance. And that's very similar for the water theme. It's all about water modeling inside 12D, limiting those options to what's particular to water and the workflows and the procedures that they go through. The remaining 4 themes, we have the 12D field theme, which is specifically designed for people out in the field using 12D field, utilising tablets. The CAD theme is all about the creation and the workflows for creating and then editing and then labeling or annotating CAD data or CAD options. We have the BIM theme, which is very much about the BIM workflows and what's important to BIM people, like the investigation, the conflict analysis, the visualization, and also the creating of all of your BIM 3D objects. And the TIN theme is a real common one for all different disciplines. It's really about triangulation and data manipulation and inquiries on TINs themselves. And I do want to make it clear that we are not forcing this change on anybody. So what about those people who don't like change? Well, quite simply, the classic theme is just for you. You can have 12D run and look exactly how it has done historically and continue to use it in that way. And there's another thing I'd like to deal with regards to themes. I did mention that it can control your workspaces, your content and the content of the menus and your icons, but it also can control your interface size. There will be 4 pre-installed Revell theme sizes with 12D Model 15. The first one will be small. This is very similar to the classic size of 12D model and the icon size, so you'll have very similar screen space or real estate. The medium, which is slightly larger than the small, this just helps with slightly better, clearer icon definition and identification. The large, this can have 2 uses. This can be used for an ultra-high definition screen if you want smaller icons on a 4K monitor, for example, or even if you just prefer big icons, you can use this one. The 4th and final size is the extra large. This is definitely for use with ultra-high definition screens. The menu and the panel text is enlarged, whereas it's not enlarged in those first 3, the small, the medium, and the large. So when you're looking at your interface on a 4K monitor, then it's going to be very, very usable when you're using the extra large theme. But I do want to point out that there is no size inflation for the classic theme. With the classic theme, it's going to be the same size as it always has been. So, how are you actually going to load the themes in 12D Model 15? Well, 12D Model 15 will ship with an example env configuration or a registry file for those 12D users who are used to dealing with those. You can select either a classic or a Revell theme. So on the screenshot on the right hand side, you can see the classic is right up the top, and the Revell theme, all of those 8 that have been previously discussed, are on the configuration list. So users can copy those configuration settings, there's not many, into their existing setup to be able to utilize and incorporate the themes with their setups. Classic will operate just like previous versions. As I said, we're not going to force you to start using the Revell themes if you don't want to. So the Classic is the same as it's always been, and the same operation and integration with your systems as previous versions of 12D Model. Oh, and you can also swap themes while you're inside the 12D Model interface. And before we can go into the demonstration, we probably better deal with the elephant in the room. And that will be a question many will be asking, why does 12D look so different? Well, themes can control the sizing of the interface. 12D Classic icons were always historically a 16 pixel size. That was great for screen real estate, but it wasn't so good for ultra high definition monitors. Now, this little screenshot is about a size for size what 12D Model Classic interface looked like in my 3K monitor. So the icons were really quite small and the menus were really quite small as well. So when we made the decision to go with themes, we had some questions that we had to ask ourselves. Do we simply upsize the Classic 16 pixel iconography? If we do, what do those upsize icons look like? I'll give you a hint, they didn't look that great. What about new features? Do we try and make something in the old iconography look slightly the same but different? Can we achieve a consistent look? And do the current icons tell the correct story? Just to give you an example, this is the current Classic icon for loading a workspace. Would we be better placed with an icon that's a little bit more clearer on what it's actually going to do? And similarly, this is the pavement manager. Do we do something that is a little bit more like a pavement and tells a better story? So, what was the answer to those questions? Well, the answer was pretty clear when we thought about it. It was, yep, let's redo all the icons inside 12D. Then we started having a look, and we found there was actually well over 1,000 different icons to do of the current functionality inside 12D. But then lockdown has got to be good for something, right? And it gave us the opportunity to do that and do it right. And it is all about achieving consistency. Just a little snapshot, adding or creating an item. If you can get that consistency on all of the different element or the object types in 12D, it just makes it a little bit easier for new users to pick up. And same thing with editing items. If you can get that consistency in the icons in the usage, then it does make 12D a lot easier to navigate. Now, before I show you what's coming next and show you in the demonstration the new Revell themes, there's a little bit of a content warning. So for existing users who struggle with change, or if new colourful or larger buttons offend you or trigger negative reactions, then I suggest you either stop watching now, or switch to the Classic theme as soon as possible, and if symptoms persist, then you can always see version 14. When we started coming up with the new icons for 12D Model version 15 in the themes, we were very aware that we wanted to get that consistency, so identifying a create icon looked very similar to all of the other create icons. But as we've said before, 12D is a hugely comprehensive piece of software. There's many options and many different types of disciplines, so we came up with one extra level of identification with regards to themes. We decided to give specific themes, which would be specific disciplines, their own colours, so it made them easily identifiable when you're looking at your interface in your workspace. So to give you an idea of how that works, This is the design side of things, and so all of the design iconography had a particular colour set, and then so did the survey. And all of the water themes had a little bit more of a water feel to them. The BIM iconography had its own colorization set, so hopefully that would make those easier to identify. And we did the same sort of thing with the CAD as well. And when you're navigating this new look 12D, we will obviously load up particular workspaces for those discipline themes, but we didn't want to break what customization you may have already had with regards to workspaces. So just a little bit on workspaces. The ship themes will automatically load their matching workspaces. You can still use your own workspace files with the themes. And from the quick access toolbar, you will be able to either load the discipline specific workspaces, or you can load your existing company workspaces as well. And I just want to reiterate one more time, what if you don't like change? Well, then the classic theme is just for you, and you can continue having the same look and feel as your 12D as you've always had. And no 12D webinar is complete without some type of demonstration, so without further ado, we'll get in and we're going to have a look at the 12D themes in version 15. Okay, I'll just get rid of this PowerPoint slide. And for those users who are a bit object to change, they don't like change, we'll first take a moment to have a look at version 15 in the classic theme that's loaded up, and it will look nice and warm and familiar to everybody that is used to seeing 12D. And then what we're going to do is we're going to show you the different theme sizes first off. So this is the classic in its standard size, and if we flick over to the Revell theme in the small size, it looks quite familiar. The sizes are very similar to the classic theme, and then if we go through to the medium theme, things start to get a little bit larger, a little bit easier to identify and display what those views and what the icons are saying. Then if we flick over to the large theme, it gets a little bit bigger, but it's still usable on a 1K screen if you prefer larger buttons. And then finally, if we flick across to the extra large standard theme, you'll see that the buttons are much bigger, and the menus and the text and the font size of the menus is upsized to make it a lot easier to see on an ultra high definition screen. So if you are worried about really, really big buttons, don't really panic about that one or freak out, because once you get to a 4K screen, they're going to be a quarter of their size, so they're going to look very, very similar to the standard theme on a ultra high definition monitor. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to the standard size standard theme and show you how you can swap over themes and theme sizes from within the 12D Model 15 interface. There's a few places you can do it. Under the main menu project, there's a brand new menu item called themes, and you can see there you have all of your 8 installed or pre-installed themes that come with 12D Model 15. It's also the place where you can get your workspace. Up the top, when you have a theme loaded, it tells you up the top which theme you currently have loaded, and also which size option of that theme is currently being displayed. And there is also a number of toolbars that you can, if you wish, have on your workspace, which allow you to change the theme and the theme sizing from a toolbar option on a workspace. As I also mentioned, we now have control over what view icons are displayed on views, and we also have control about what options are pulled up with the 3 buttons of your mouse on those particular view icons. Traditionally, when you went to right click on a view icon, it would pull up the entire view menu, just like it does here, but we've changed those and we've made those consistent through all of the discipline themes and the standard theme to be able to do the same sort of options. So now if you right click, let's say for example on a model view icon, you'll get the model options. If you do the right click on the zoom options, and if you right click on the settings and things, you will get different but consistent options across all views. Middle mouse button's pretty handy as well. If I just turn on actually a tin survey model in there, what we've done is we've activated the middle mouse button on the toggle options of all the views to simply toggle on and off the contours, which just leads things a little bit faster. And you can also middle mouse button over a favorites view, which pulls up the create edit plan favorites. and middle mouse button over the view positions will bring up the create and edit view positions. So we've added quite a bit of efficiencies with regards to being able to customize those view icons and install those in the pre-installed themes. The last thing I'm going to show in the demonstration is being able to hot swap the 12D model themes from within the 12D Model 15 interface as you go and as you're working. So if I go up to the currently loaded standard theme there, I can swap that over quite simply by selecting the design theme in this instance. And what 12D is going to do, as I select that theme, it's going to go and totally rebuild the workspace, rebuild the menus and interface for that discipline theme, the pre-installed one that I've selected. And I'll just bring that view back to the front again. And you can see it's reloaded the workspace and loaded up all of the design theme items. If I want to change the sizes, because it's currently showing that I'm on the design theme but on the small size, and if I want to upsize that to the large theme as I'm working, I can simply go and select on the large option there. I've left clicked on that, and again 12D is going to go away and totally rebuild the entire interface, and in this case resize the interface and the icons and all of the view icons, and that's switched over to the design theme in a large format. Now the nice thing is, if you're currently in a large format and you want to retain that large format but change the theme itself, this is where the interconnectivity and all of those files, where we don't want those standard pre-installed themes to be able to be edited and changed, is if I then go and select, say, the water theme, it will reload the interface, reload the water theme, but it's going to remember that I was in the large format. So it's going to reload the water theme in the large format, and of course change all of the iconography into the water theme large format or extra large format, as it were. And the last thing is the workspaces. If you would like to retain the theme, the pre-installed one that you cannot edit, but you would like to flick over to a custom workspace, you can still do that on the quick access. And I've got, say, one pre-installed here for the water guys called Water Simple, and so it's going to retain the size, which is the large. It's going to retain the water theme, but it's simply going to go and load a different workspace file. So hopefully you can see that the advent of themes, we can completely change the efficiency of the workflows within 12D, and I'm going to flip back to Lisa because no doubt we're going to have some questions on the themes. Okay, back to you, Lisa.
Thanks for that, Dylan. I think the main thing that's come up, we've had a couple of questions here. We've been asked about whether there are any new commands in the new version, but I guess that may be a bit too generic.
Maybe
at
a
the
bit too
moment.
early.
I think we're not quite sure that
but really, I think there's going to be a lot more what's coming in 12D version 15 webinars, where yes, you will see some of those new functionality, because we always carry on working over the intervening time between one version and the next. So I'm not going to spoil anybody else's webinar, but yes, there will definitely be new features. So please look out for those ones, and also look out for the technical forum, because anything that we don't show in these upcoming webinars, I'm sure we will be bound to surprise you when it comes to the technical forum as well.
Yes, definitely. I think, we've got quite a bit up our sleeves at the moment. We've got a question, will there be a dark theme option?
The themes themselves, we won't be installing a dark theme. Not like your Windows interface. So I'd say no at the moment, but kind of watch this space for information coming later. But no, there will be no dark theme. The current is to look like the classic with the background of the iconography.
Sure. Will there be tooltips for the new buttons?
Yes, there absolutely will be tooltips. So the toolbars and the buttons themselves work exactly the same as they always have done. You can just essentially change we've changed the options and the sizing of them within the interface.
And can you add custom menus?
I'm not going to say yes or no to that one. All I'll say is you might want to look at the technical forum a little bit later in this year, but at the moment we will be pre-installing those 8 shipped themes.
Do we have access to new icons to put into existing customizations?
I'm sure that the answer to that would be, at the moment, yes. We've got some different things going in the background. I didn't want to get too technical, and I probably won't get too technical. But yes, I would say that that's absolutely a possibility.
What about toolbar sizing was the extension of that one?
The toolbar sizing, well, hopefully that was displayed with regards to the 4 pre-shipped theme sizes being the small, medium, large, and extra large, and they totally control the size of the toolbars.
And they'll fit into the existing customizations, we think?
Oh yeah, if you've got your own custom toolbar and you choose the large theme, then yep, without getting too technical, it will upsize those themes. It will upsize those existing toolbars to match the theme profile.
And we've got a request for a Star Wars theme, so I'm sure we'll pop that on the programmers list. Thank you for that one.
Yeah, we'll put a Star Wars theme. I like the idea of that one. Not too
Yep.
sure whether we'll revisit the 1500 icons, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, it's the perfect day to ask that question, right? It's the May the 4th. So yes, I had
May the 4th
put that together,
absolutely.
but yes, yeah. No, that's a good one. I think. Oh, we've got a question. Is there a way to customize the mouse buttons to change what the middle click is for, or anything like that? But I guess that's sort of a separate.
That's totally outside of 12D's control. I have a customer who has one of those Star Wars space buttons where you've got about 9 or 10 buttons on the mouse, and that's totally dependent on the configuration of your mouse and Windows. We just take the command for whatever's set to the left, the middle, and the right mouse buttons.
Sure, so that can be done outside that. I think, and yeah, the other questions have been to do with the timeline for things like 12D Model 15. So, I mean, I think the basic answer to that at the moment is that most of this will be sort of really starting to be released towards the tech forum in October. Is the general timeline? Is that
consensus? Yep. So we'll have all of those 100% timings, and as I say, we don't like to show too much before the technical forum because there'll be some stuff that we'd like to surprise you. But I'm sure that Dr. Lee Gregory will be, answering that question either before then or then.
Yes, I'll have to pull him up for a webinar so he can deal with that.
Absolutely.
We'll tell him there's a special request. He's probably in the audience today, so Lee, there's a special request. So you can present on that. And okay, so we'll just do a couple more here. So for the startup dialog box, is there an extra selection for themes, or are they selected as part of the new environment configurations?
Well, the environment configurations haven't changed between version 14 and 15. We do have new programmable variables. So we will ship those new variables. There's only one or two. So you'll be able to see from the shipped environment configuration what those variables are and the path to find those themes. And that should be an easy matter of if you're incorporating those into your existing environment configurations, which I know some people have some quite complex ones. You can simply either add new items to your existing configuration or add new environment variables to those items that you already have on your configuration. So it's very much the same way it's always been done. We've just got new environment overrides to activate the themes.
Great. Okay, well, I think that's probably enough questions to take live for today. If we have others, then I might I'll send them through to you, Dylan, and you can, answer people by email. So, it's great to have a kickoff to this new series and start, showcasing some of these new features.
Yes, it was a short and sweet sneak peek, and without getting into the details of all of the content of all the the different themes and the menus and the workspaces. I'm sure that everybody's going to have a good time, I guess, disseminating them when they get their hands on the new version 15.
Yes, yeah, playing around with all of that. Well, thank you very much for that, Dylan. So yes, as we've said, these features and more will be delved into in far more detail at the 2021 Tech Forum, which, as I'm sure you've all heard by now, is an online event this year, just due to the continued worldwide climate, for safety, for everyone's safety, and we're going to be doing it online. But it's going to be pretty exciting sort of platform and everything. I think it'll be really engaging, and that's going to be in October now. And we'll get the recording of today's webinar up through the webinars page on our website in coming days and on the YouTube channel. I'm also going to email everyone a link to the video, everyone who's here today and everyone who registered, so that makes it nice and easy to find. And keep an eye on our emails and social media for details of future webinars in this series, including an interesting 12D water-based topic on Wednesday next week. That one's called CSI, an interface for stormwater planning. So that one should be of interest to a lot of our users. If you need to contact us in the meantime, our details are on the screen now. That concludes our presentation for today. Thank you all for attending, and we hope to see you at future webinars.